What is up, Stoke Nation? It has been a while since we've all connected. First off, I just want to apologize for the long hiatus of not posting anything in a while and sharing anything. Here in California, it has been flat for literally 2 months. So I think the majority of you probably don't want to see small, crappy California. But on another note, the summer was great. We were super busy with my surf school. So the business is finally booming. This year was definitely a lot better than last year. However, with this week's vlog, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys is recently I just took a trip to Fiji.
Got a whole row to ourselves.
This vlog, I'm basically going to be talking to you guys about how to make it more affordable for you if you want to go to Fiji and experience Cloudbreak and all the other waves that are around that whole entire reef pass. Also, don't forget to subscribe. The channel is growing, so I want to say thank you to everyone that has been following the journey of me trying to catch the biggest wave of my life. But let's go ahead and let's get into really talking about what to do and how to make it more affordable for you. I would recommend staying in Momi Bay. Momi Bay is pretty much almost a straight shot to Cloudbreak into the other surf spots. The Marriott Bonvoy is extremely affordable, and you also have an option of having your accommodations with an all-inclusive package. That's what me and my wife did. We did the all-inclusive package. So we stayed at that Marriott for approximately, I want to say 9 days. And that whole entire time of 9 days was around $5,500. But that also included our flight there. So that is pretty cheap compared to if you stay at a place like Namotu or Tavarua, you're going to be spending over $7 grand for just 7 days. That Cloudbreak is a super tricky wave, and it's not what everyone thinks. Don't get me wrong. Cloudbreak is a great wave when it's on. However, if it's under 8 feet and if it's windy, you're going to be experiencing just pure mush. Basically, you're going to be spending around roughly anywhere between 150 to 400 Fijian dollars to get a boat taxi to get you to your destination. All right, here we are, first day here at the infamous Cloudbreak. It's a little funky today, but I'm like literally here by myself in the lineup. It's about maybe 4, maybe 6 foot on the sets, if that. It's really, really, really funky, as you can see, with the wind and everything. But hey, we're here. Cloudbreak by ourselves, besides with Roger, who's down over at the boat, over there somewhere. But let's get some waves. Fiji to surf Cloudbreak, do a strike mission. You will be paying a little bit more in the airfare. I mean, that could range anywhere between, you know, $700 to $1,100, depending on, you know, if it's a busy season or not. Obviously during, you know, April all the way until about October, you're going to be having, you know, they're still in their wintertime months because they're in the southern hemisphere, so it's their wintertime. So they're opposite of what we are here in the States. Definitely do not go there unless it's over 8 feet. And I'm speaking from a little bit more from a little bit higher than intermediate to an advanced surfer. Obviously, if you're in an intermediate to somewhat better than a beginner, then stick with, you know, staying in that 6 foot range. But I feel that when it's over 8 feet, based off what I experienced, even with southeast wind, it's going to open up and hold a lot better than it will when it's smaller, because it has a lot more energy and just the way that it opens up. Obviously, the whole entire time that I was there, it did not barrel at all. And if it did, it was super, it was in the areas that were super shallow, such as the area known as shish kebabs. Cloudbreak, like I said, it's going to be a very tricky wave. It does, the way that it lines up on the reef, it is very racy, and basically you're not going to get a lot of waves that go all the way through. Are there some? Yes. But I feel that when you're under that 4 foot mark, it's going to be extremely racy, or even 6 foot, as I should say, is that it's going to be really hard and really racy to make it around certain sections. Obviously, if you're sitting a little bit more inside, you're going to get ones that do travel through, but from the inside to shish kebabs is really not that much of a far ride. However, everyone thinks that sitting on the point is the best place to sit, which you would think that's how it works, but in my experience and from what I've experienced there, not even. When I was there, I really did a lot of studying on the reef, and I really started thinking about how the judging tower was, how it sits, and I started, you know, lining up, you know, different positions, and I started thinking about how the pros would sit. From everyone that was sitting on the point, but yet I was sitting just as deep as they were, and I was getting a lot of the waves that were kind of swinging a little bit wide, because there's an actual crack in the reef, or there's a gap between the reef in that area from the point to where I was sitting. So what happens is, and one thing that I've been, you know, over the years of traveling and, you know, surfing reef breaks, you know, you start to kind of see like what waves do when it comes to the reefs, and how, if there's like, you know, cracks or, you know, crevasses in the reef, of how the wave breaks and how it will speed up or how it will back off. And so what happens is if you're sitting on the point, and the way that the wave breaks is that there's an actual break in the reef, to where once it hits that area, it either does two things. It either, one, backs off, or it completely races. So what I was doing is, from, you know, after, you know, kind of studying and looking at everything, I started sitting a little bit wider from where that crack was, and I would get every single wave that would come through. And I was quite surprised. And then once I started doing that, I started noticing a huge difference in how the wave was breaking and what it was doing. And overall, that was a good choice that I made, is really paying attention on the sitting points in the crowd. Let's talk about the crowd for a moment. I don't mean to, go into a different area, but it can be extremely crowded and very frustrating, especially when it's inconsistent and the waves are small. Everyone starts paddle battling. It becomes a big mess and very frustrating. There was a few times where I almost got out, but I was just like, if I get out, I'm not going to be really doing anything but, sipping on a few cocktails while I'm at the resort. But that's why I recommend is when it's over 8 feet, the crowd is going to be minimal. You're going to have a little bit more of experienced people out in the water. There might be some, that are in the intermediate. They're just not going to be catching, the bombs. And me and my friend that I was with, we're one of those people that we want barrels. We want the bombs. And if we eat crap, that's just the price that you pay when you surf waves like that. And so if you're kind of on that level, then that's what I would recommend, is really staying and surfing Cloudbreak over 8 feet. And when it comes to restaurants is a very, very fickle wave, especially when it comes to swell size. Restaurants will not break if it's 4 feet or 6 feet. Like, it needs energy, it needs power. So if Cloudbreak is over on that 8 foot mark, then restaurants will be roughly around 4 foot and super fun. And those are the areas that, if you're a little bit less experienced, those are the areas that you can go to, because it's not going to have as much energy. However, restaurants is going to be a little bit shallower. And yes, it kind of has some of that raciness to the wave. However, it kind of holds up a little bit more than what Cloudbreak does. We didn't really get to experience restaurants or Namotu lefts or any of the other spots that were around Namotu or outside of Namotu. There's an actual right that works, or that looked pretty good, but based on the south wind or the southeast wind, it's basically straight onshore for that place. So if it's more south wind, like straight south wind, then that right will be pretty good. That'll be more offshore for it. Restaurants would be your ideal spot too when it comes to southeast wind, even east, but I say southeast just based upon of how restaurant sits and how the southeast wind is going. It is a little bit more offshore there. Cloudbreak southeast is going to be somewhat side shore / offshore wind, so it will hold up. And east is like the direction that you want. East southeast is going to be perfect for Cloudbreak. It's going to be completely straight offshore, and it will hold. Even on southeast wind, it will hold if it's under 12 knots. Anything over that, it's just going to be, it's just going to be chandeliering. It will still barrel a little bit, but it's just going to kind of crumble. So that was my whole entire overall experience that I had with Cloudbreak in Fiji for my first time. I learned a lot. Like I said, it will be straight strike missions from now on when I go to Fiji, because if I'm going to Fiji, I want to go there to score, not to sit around and basically surf mushy waves. The whole entire time I was there, I only surfed maybe 4 or 5 times based upon everything that I've mentioned with it being mushy. And to be paying like almost $200 US each time was just ridiculous. And I just refused to pay that, even $75, when I could just, surf mushy waves here at home. That's the whole point of when you go on trips, is that, you want to get better waves, you want to surf better. And, that's why when you're here at home, you surf those conditions. So when you go to a place that's, known for its waves, you're going to be surfing a lot better. Or at least in my perspective. So that's pretty much about it, what I wanted to share. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch more videos. We will be posting a lot more again, getting back on schedule, and getting things ready for winter since we are officially in fall now. So we are starting to kind of see the North Pacific become a little bit more active. Hawaii already has been getting waves. So we are looking forward and gearing up for this winter. I'm super excited because I've been training my butt off. And so when it comes to swell, we're going to be there. We're going to be hitting it. And I'm looking forward to this winter. Winter is going to be an amazing year. It's going to be way better than last year. Last year we tackled a lot, we did a lot, and then this winter is going to be even better. So pardon me for Lilu here. She's just talking and excited because, as you could have seen, someone walked by and she just wants to go crazy. And anyway, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in and for all the new subscribers. The channel, like I said, has been growing. We're almost on that 1,000 subscriber mark. Please continue to follow the journey. Obviously, as we get more followers or more subscribers, you know, I just want to build community, like I've said before, and, you know, letting you know, like, even being a, you know, mid-aged 40-year-old guy, you know, you could still make your dreams come true. You could still do what you want to do. You could still surf big waves. It's never too late, or anything for that matter, that you want to do. So continuously chase after what you want to do. Don't let age hold you back, and continue to grow in your journey as a human. And that's just basically one of the reasons why I wanted to share this whole entire experience with you guys, is to let you know that it's never too late to get into something, and do it with passion, and do it with excitement, and do it with an open mind to where you're going to continuously grow. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for following the journey, and see you guys on the next one. Aloha.